All right, so
Afternoon, Alison. This is Paul, my manager. This is for assessment 4.4. So we're just going to discuss having a consultation with relevant personnel, including details of research processes, the data collected, findings, and new assessment practices, etc. Okay, so we're just going to start now.
the research processes, what was the outcome on that? You got your articles from NCVER and ASA.
Yeah.
What did those articles mention?
Those articles just confirmed where we were looking, where we were heading with our implementation of the dual certificate program. We believe that studying both the English component with the vocational education was the way to go, and there was an article I found which reflected that. So it just gave us the confidence that what we were doing was the right way to go to get the best outcomes.
Where was the article from?
NCVER, it was an AIMS, the dedicated ones to migrant students newly arrived.
Yep.
Migrants, just to build the English skills up with your vocational training, seem to get the best. The outcomes were improved and employment was more sustainable, which is key.
All right, so you've collected the data and analysed it. How'd you do that?
It's a hard one to get your quantitative data.
Yeah.
Because it's very hard to keep results on minimal students. So most of the data I've collected is qualitative.
I know what you're saying, yeah.
Thank you. And I've spoken with the apprentices I've had, migrant ones, and in speaking about the course we've set up, they wish they had the opportunity, because they said the theory was so hard, and these guys have had the theory components taught to them. The main components were taught for them in the English classes before they came to us.
What components are we talking about? The trade technology? Trade terminologies, I should say.
Your terminology, safety, like even such a unit as communications, just your terminology there. What's feedback? What does receiver mean? Things like this. So it sounds simple to us, but it's the first time these guys have heard it.
Okay. So what were your findings in the research you did?
The findings were from the initial proposal. I was going to change or rewrite the resources into their language, but through the course we felt that would disadvantage the students' long-term outcomes, because I think the focus, learning English and then reading resources from their language, it goes against what we're trying to do, where we want to improve their language levels from level 1 to 2, etc., etc. So the more opportunities these students have to read and speak English, that's just going to help them. And with the Cert 2 course, with about 4 or 5 units being converted to Cert 3, we couldn't change those units anyway, because it had to be delivered at a certain level.
Okay. So, what did you compare it to? Previous years or anything like that? With previous migrant English?
Well,
kids that you've had?
Yeah, that's all I've had. So it's mostly from observation and just just teaching with migrant students for about 5 years now, just noticing the difference in the support levels that were required from my end.
Okay.
Like,
So you're
especially
saying
numeracy, like that was a big one.
you're saying that the working between our department and the Cert 2 Migrant English department has worked very well compared to other years.
Oh, it certainly has. Like, and the length of time as well.
Okay.
Like this course, it goes over one semester, whereas a normal course, so to speak, is over one term.
Yeah.
So this has given us the flexibility to find the gaps first and then work a plan out, and through constant communication between the two departments, especially with numeracy, we've achieved good results. Just the level of support that I've had to give is way less than previous classes.
Okay. So what new practices have been identified? How have you improved them?
Oh, that's been a learning thing. So while we've been, because this course, it's the first time it's happened, we've adjusted the course as it goes. So it's really just been through constant communication between the two departments and finding where the gaps are, what students are struggling with, and then I'd report to the English department, and then she would focus on those areas, and she can link most of our theory to units that she has to cover as well. So it's working really well. But yes, it is the first time, so the data has been quite hard to take. And after this course is done, we should be able to implement a way to record extra data next course, because we should have it fairly well streamlined. I'm hoping.
So you're saying at the end of this you reflect on the
Reflect
course.
on it,
Okay.
put in the
Suggestion
learnings
way of doing
we've learnt to implement them right from the start.
Okay. That's good. Okay. So what do you reckon? What are your recommendations for further research based on the review? What do you think you should do further?
I think an important one is with these guys, I believe I'll probably find about 5 of these guys a job. So the communication with the employers should give us some feedback on how their understanding is going, because some apprentices I've sent out before, migrant students, the feedback has been that their language is so low that to explain something to them, it's been very frustrating. So they do get to a point where they stop teaching them, because it's so hard. So these apprentices have to learn by just observing and coming here to TAFE to learn. So that'll be an interesting one, to remain in contact with the employers and see the level of learning and comprehension that these guys have got and will continue to achieve, hopefully.
So you reckon having a conduit between the employer and yourself to check on the apprentices and whoever else is a vital piece of the strategy. Okay.
Well, that person's me, so I'm going to become that conduit. So I'll be in contact with employers, and hopefully that'll finally give us some of that quantitative data. Got it right then.
Quantitative. Okay. All right. What have you learned? What discoveries have you had from doing this? What surprises have been in for you?
I know the industry here, that industry is really focusing on delivering your units in several ways, so which can be like the practical base, your knowledge questions, to videos, etc., etc. So you've got a spectrum of delivery methods. With these students, I've attempted to show videos, I've attempted to teach them the quizzes online,